Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. This video is going to be quite different from the kind of videos you have been watching on this channel. It's going to be screen recording, and as you already know, as I've already told you, that I have taken cultural studies as my master's specialization. Um, so in this video, we are going to do something that has to do with cultural studies. I told you already that we talk about images, we talk about paintings, photographs, advertisements, film posters, everything under the sun that constitutes a cultural phenomena, a cultural entity, whatever it is. In this video, what are we going to talk about then? What all can you see in this image? Yes, this image has many images in it, but what kind of images? Yes, these are advertising images. Advertising images are the images that try to persuade you into buying a certain service or a product or anything of such sorts. It's an image of persuasion. It's an image that tries to convince you into saying that, hey, your world, your life is incomplete without this product or that product or whatever. So come, bring home this product, use it, and everything will be alright. There is something that I forgot to talk about. Yes, I am talking about how the modern capitalistic world is all full of images right from our birth. All we see are images, that identity itself. Images as advertising images, and our identity itself is somehow formed by these advertising images. Since advertisements have such a great impact on the culture, it is imperative that they are regulated. And that is why sometimes certain advertisements get controversial because of the way they are portraying people, the way they are representing things, or the kind of message they are propagating. In today's video, we are going to talk about one such advertising image, a print advertisement that got controversial fairly recently, and it is the Kent Atta-maker and bread maker ad, print ad. It was released in the month of April and May. In that time, when people were a bit serious about Corona, now people think it's over. Elections, Durga Puja, everything went on very fairly well. But in those time, people were a bit serious, and the advertisement plays on with this fear quite well. I hope you have already seen this advertisement, but if you haven't, it was taken down a few days after its release. The company apologized and said that the message that people were interpreting was unintentional, and they didn't want to say what people thought they were saying. Now, coming to the advertisement, what all can you see in this ad? There is minimal text here. Most of the things that the messages that are being conveyed are conveyed using images. You can see that very well. But if I'll read out the text that read out the minimal text that is there. Are you allowing your maid to knead atta dough by hand? Her hands may be infected. Now, don't compromise on health and purity. Bring home Kent Atta-maker and bread maker. No more Kent Smart Chef appliances. Uh, in the first line, you can see a medium close up or a close up, basically a close up of a hand kneading dough. And then you have an extreme close up. You can see the transition from the elbows to the fingernails. An extreme close up of the hand. This image is quite messy, you can see that. And then you have the third slide with two women with proper hairdo, minimal makeup, minimal jewelry, dressed in pastel colors, smiling right into the camera. And then you have the appliance, the product. Now let's start with the analysis. Let's start cultural studies. Let's do cultural studies. So I'll start from the third slide. This slide that says do not compromise on health and purity, and we'll then move on to the other slides. But this will be the third slide, as it says, will be the first slide of analysis. And yes, we have these two very beautiful women in this slide. Okay, so we already saw that they are mother and daughters, and the mother and daughter here shows that this ad caters to the women, the women of a society, because apparently everything that is to do with kitchen and kitchen appliances has to do with women. It's as if kitchen and kitchen appliances are their department. It wants to reinforce the idea of domesticity of women. And yes, unlike other ads of Kent where Hema Malini is the face, we in this ad have her daughter as well. Why? Because this ad also wants to stress on the institution of family. That this ad is not just for the woman, but it's for her daughter as well, and it's for her daughter-in-law and for every other woman in the family. The family is important here. And if you can see how they are dressed up, you know that they are dressed up in pastel colors. And what does pastel color represent, people? You know from all these styling, how to look classy advertisements that this represents class. Minimal makeup, minimal jewelry, minimal pastel colors. Class. What do you mean by this? What does it mean by this? It means that this ad, the audience for this ad is the people who can afford this product. But also, other than that, it plays with people's aspiration who cannot afford it, making them feel a desire to own this product, to create a sense of belonging to the high class. And if you can see, if we can look at the other slide, it is the only slide where proper human is present. All of the slides have human body parts, but it is the only slide on which we can see the face, the smiling face, proper body, everything. It is the only slide where humans are humanized, so to say. It it humanizes the persona and the smile. Of course, the smile represents confidence. And when you look right into the camera, when you look right into the eyes of people, you are in a position of power. Of course, you are equal to them, and thus you have, if not greater than them, but also it gives you the power to advise or to ask people to buy this product. Look right in the camera, look right into the people's eyes and say, do this, and they will be intimidated at least to do what you are saying them to do. Now, this no more. Why no more? Why ads have no more? I don't know, they simply put on all that is there to be known. Because it creates engagement. It creates engagement with the product. If someone is interested, it creates a sense of suspense, for the need of a better word, which makes people attentive towards the product. If it has in a straightforward manner, put everything in the plate saying, oh, this product consumes this much electricity, this is how you need to operate it, this is how you need to take out that atta, everything that has to do with the technical specifications of the product, then it wouldn't have been so interesting. More so, it doesn't want to talk about the technical specifications because that's not important, that's secondary. It's the emotional engagement that the product can garner by saying, by playing on the idea of fear, by saying that you're compromising on your family's health. How can you do that? You're a good woman who doesn't do that, who takes care of the family. So the emotional aspect of the ad is more important than the technical aspect, and so there is no more. Now let's come to the second slide, which is the first slide, but it's the second slide of our analysis. Okay, what all can you see in this advertisement, this slide? There is a hand. There is two hands basically kneading the dough, and you have in the background grey tiles, and the woman who is kneading a dough is wearing an apron. This shows that the maid is not a regular kind of male, but she is quite a professional male working in a fairly in a well-to-do family. You already know this by the class thing that I told you about in the first slide, but yes, she's working in a good well-to-do family. And again, the text is minimal, but let's see the structure of the text. Are you allowing your maid to knead atta dough by hand? It's a question. It interrogates the viewer of his consciousness. How can she basically consciously allow her maid to knead atta dough by her hand? The question creates a power hierarchy where the presenter is at a higher position and the viewers are answerable to the presenter. Had it been a sentence saying, do not allow your maid to knead atta dough by hand, the impact would have been different. Then, coming to the extreme close-up, a fairly messy image here, saying that her hands may be infected, it very well again uses the contemporary situation that I already talked about, where people are already worried about the virus and infection, and it is classist, saying that since she belongs to a lower socioeconomic background, her chances of being infected is more than that of yours, are answerable to the presenter. Had it been a sentence saying, do not allow your maid to knead atta dough by hand, the impact would have been different. Then, and now comes the third slide, which is the second slide of the advertisement, but it's the third slide of analysis. Okay, so what all can you see in this ad? I already talked about the text, her hands may be infected, and the extreme close-up, creating a messy, unclean image. So, by saying that her hands may be infected, we know that the ad uses the contemporary situation where people are already worried about the virus and infection. But here comes the classist part of the ad. The ad says that just because she belongs to a lower socioeconomic background, her chances of being infected is more than that of yours. Yes, the ad also says that you cannot trust even yourself with the responsibility of kneading atta dough by hand. So let automation take care of hygiene this time. Don't trust nobody. But saying that the maid can be the carrier and the communicator of the infection, not you. That it is not saying that she may be in danger because she may be infected and thus she may be in danger. It's saying that she is dangerous. It doesn't say that her life can be at stake, but that your life can be at stake. Her hands may be infected. You may also get infected. Rightly so, this ad is classist. And there is one more socio-cultural assumption that the ad uses, the assumption that the maidservant is necessarily a her. It doesn't take into account that maidservants or cooks can be male as well. So the ad is gender biased, it is patriarchal as it caters only to the woman, it takes into account only the woman audience, and it is classist because it says that just because you belong to a certain class, or someone belongs to a certain class, their chances of being infected is more. It is the other way around, in fact. We know that the infection was carried by very well-to-do families who could afford to go abroad and bring the infection to the country. But yes, all that we conclude is that the ad is gender biased, it is patriarchal, and it is classist. Yes. So that's it for the video. This is what we do when we do cultural studies. I hope you understood what do we do when we do cultural studies. This was a very practical example of what we do when we do cultural studies. कितनी बार repeat करेगी निशा? Okay, bye 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 bye. Okay. Yes, we already talked about how this ad uses the contemporary situation of the pandemic quite well. People who are already afraid, this ad makes them more afraid, and says this product, that if you buy this product, then your fear will be gone. Now let's come to the other slides.